I still remember the taste of that champagne. It was supposed to be the happiest day of my life, the night Daniel proposed to me. My whole family was there, candles flickering, music low, everyone clapping as he slid the ring on my finger. And right next to me, smiling a little too brightly, was my sister Lena. She said, "You're glowing, girl," and I believed her. I didn't see the storm hiding behind her perfect hair and that sweet laugh. Back then, I thought life was lining up just right. I had a decent job in marketing, Daniel was building his architecture career, and Lena had just moved back from college, crashing at my apartment until she figured things out. I was happy to help her. She was my little sister. I'd always been the protective one, the one who covered for her, who made excuses when she didn't show up for family dinners, who slipped her money when mom couldn't. The first cracks were small. Late-night texts between them that I brushed off as wedding planning. A weird tension when I walked into the room. Once, I even caught her wearing one of the dresses Daniel had bought me, and she laughed it off. "Relax, it's just a dress." I wanted to believe her so badly that I convinced myself I was imagining things. Then came the day everything exploded. It was a Sunday. Daniel said he needed space to think, that he felt pressured. My stomach dropped, but I told him to take his time. The next morning, I got a message from my cousin, "You need to see this." There it was, a tagged photo on social media. Lena and Daniel at a small beach resort, arms around each other, looking like the world owed them nothing. The caption? "Sometimes love finds you where it's meant to be." I swear I couldn't breathe. I sat there staring at the screen, my hands shaking. I wanted to scream, to break something, to rewind time. But I didn't. I just shut my phone off, packed a small bag, and drove for hours until I ended up at some cheap motel off the highway. I spent 2 days there crying, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment of the last year. When I came home, my apartment felt empty. Lena's stuff was gone. Daniel's ring sat on the counter. There was a sticky note. "I hope you'll understand someday. We didn't mean to hurt you." That line, "we didn't mean to hurt you," echoed in my head for months. I went numb. Work performance tanked. Friends tried to drag me out, but I wasn't ready. It felt like the person I was had burned down with that betrayal. But somewhere inside that numbness, a quiet voice started whispering, "Get up." So I did. At first, it was small. I started walking every morning, just to remind myself that the world still existed. I took a few freelance marketing gigs online, anything to keep busy. Then one day, scrolling through TikTok, I saw this woman giving a motivational talk. She said, "You can use pain as a prison, or you can use it as fuel." Something about that hit me deep. I thought, what if I tell my story? I recorded a short video, just me in my kitchen, raw, no makeup, saying, "When your sister steals your fiancé, don't lose yourself. Make it your origin story." I posted it, went to bed, and forgot about it. The next morning, my phone blew up, millions of views, thousands of comments from people saying, "I needed this, you just saved me, this happened to me too." For the first time in months, I felt alive again. So I kept going. I started posting daily, short videos about healing, confidence, forgiveness, success. I wasn't pretending to be perfect, I just shared what I was learning. How to rebuild self-worth. How to start over. How to stop giving people power over you. Within 6 months, I hit 500,000 followers. Brands reached out. I quit my job and built my own digital marketing agency, helping other creators grow. It felt surreal. But the best part wasn't the numbers, it was the messages from women saying, "Because of you, I left a toxic relationship," or "You helped me believe in myself again." That's when I realized, the spotlight I lost the day Daniel and Lena betrayed me. I had built my own. A year later, I got an email that made my heart race. TEDx San Francisco would like to invite you to speak. The theme? Reclaiming power. I remember laughing out loud. It felt like life had written a script just for me. Fast forward to the night of the talk. Red carpet, cameras, that nervous buzz in the crowd. I stood backstage in my white suit, simple, sharp, elegant. My palms were sweating, but my heart felt calm. Then, 5 minutes before I was called on stage, I looked into the audience from the side curtain and froze. There they were, Daniel and Lena, sitting together in the second row. For a split second, All the old feelings rushed back: anger, hurt, betrayal. But then I remembered who I was now. I smiled. When the announcer said my name, I walked out into the light. The applause hit me like a wave, and I took a deep breath. "My name is Ava," I began, my voice steady. "And 2 years ago, I lost everything I thought defined me." The audience was silent. I could feel their eyes. I could feel their eyes. I told my story, not the bitter version, but the truth. About love, betrayal, losing yourself, and rebuilding from the ashes. About how healing isn't about revenge, it's about power. And when I reached the end, I looked straight toward Daniel and Lena, smiled softly, and said, "So to anyone who ever broke you, thank you. Because you built this." The crowd erupted. Standing ovation. Cameras flashing. My heart pounding so hard I could barely hear the claps. That night changed everything. When the applause faded that night, I walked backstage shaking, not because I was nervous anymore, but because it felt like the final chain had broken. For the first time in years, I wasn't someone's ex-fiancé or the sister who got betrayed. I was me, the woman who turned pain into purpose. A journalist rushed over, asking for an interview. Another handed me a card for a podcast. A young girl hugged me, crying, saying my story helped her leave a toxic home. I realized that the story that once embarrassed me had become my power. The wound had become the weapon, but a weapon of light, not hate. After that TED Talk, things moved fast. Clips went viral. News sites picked it up. Invitations poured in: panels, conferences, collaborations. I even got invited to a Women in Business Summit in New York. Me, the girl who once hid in a motel crying over a broken engagement, was now standing beside CEOs and best-selling authors. I remember one night after the summit, walking alone through Times Square. Lights everywhere, giant screens flashing, people rushing by, and in the middle of it all, my face on one of the smaller billboards. Just an ad for a mental wellness campaign, but still, it stopped me cold. I whispered to myself, "You did it." Not to brag, but to remind myself of the road I'd walked. Still, even in all that success, there were ghosts. Sometimes I'd get tagged in photos of Daniel and Lena smiling, traveling, playing house. Every time, a small part of me tensed. But then I'd take a breath and remind myself I wasn't competing anymore. I was thriving. About a year after the TED Talk, something unexpected happened. My assistant, Mia, came running into my office one morning, her face pale. "Ava," she said, "you need to see this." She turned her laptop toward me. There it was, a headline. "Local architect firm files for bankruptcy, owner under investigation for fraud allegations." It was Daniel's company. My first instinct wasn't joy or revenge, it was disbelief. I sat back in my chair, staring at the screen. The man who once said I'd never make it without him had fallen apart chasing shortcuts. I didn't celebrate. I didn't gloat. I just felt this strange, quiet closure, like the universe had signed the final page of a story I'd already moved on from. Then came the twist I never expected. 2 months later, I got an email. The sender's name made my stomach flip. Lena Roberts. The subject line read, "Can we talk?" I didn't answer right away. I read that email at least a dozen times before I even breathed. It was long, filled with regret, apologies, explanations. She said Daniel had changed, that their relationship fell apart once the money troubles began. She said she missed me, that she hated herself for what she did. And at the end, she wrote, "You became everything I used to dream of being. I wish I'd stood beside you instead of against you." I didn't know how to feel. Part of me wanted to delete it. Another part wanted to hug her, like the old days before life got messy. In the end, I decided to meet her, not for her, but for me. Because I wanted to prove to myself that forgiveness doesn't mean weakness. We met at a little cafe downtown. When she walked in, I barely recognized her. The sparkle was gone, replaced by this quiet exhaustion. She sat down, eyes already glassy. "You look amazing," she whispered. I smiled politely. She said sorry at least 5 times before I even touched my coffee. Then she said, "I thought I was winning. But I was just chasing your shadow." It broke me a little, not from sadness, but from realizing how far I'd come. I told her, "Lena, I forgave you long ago. Not because you deserved it, but because I did." She cried. I held her hand. For a second, it felt like we were sisters again. Two girls who used to share secrets under the covers, before jealousy and pride poisoned everything. When I left that cafe, I didn't look back. I didn't need to. The past had lost its power. Months went by. My company grew faster than I could have imagined. I hired a team of young women, dreamers, fighters, survivors, who reminded me of myself. We built campaigns for mental health, empowerment, small business owners. We weren't just selling services, we were telling stories that mattered. Then one day, I got another call, this time from Forbes Women. They wanted to feature me as one of the top 30 under 30 founders in empowerment media. I laughed so hard I nearly spilled my tea. If only Daniel could see that headline. But honestly, I didn't need him to. His opinion was ancient history. On the night the article went live, I sat on my balcony with a glass of wine, watching the city lights flicker. I thought about every version of myself that had existed, the girl who trusted too much, the woman who lost everything, the fighter who built it all back. Every one of them had a role in this story. My phone buzzed. It was a DM request from a familiar account. "Daniel." The message was short. "I saw your TED Talk. Congratulations. You really made it." I stared at it for a while, then typed back one line. "You were right. I did make it, just not with you." Then I hit send and blocked him. Simple. Clean. Final. The next morning, I had to film a new video for my channel, a motivational one about closure. I sat in front of my camera, no script, just speaking from my heart. "You don't need revenge to win," I said. "You just need peace." The best kind of success isn't loud. It's quiet, calm, and unbothered. It's walking into the same world that tried to break you and smiling because you made it out shining. That clip hit over 10 million views in a week. People from everywhere commented, "You're my hero. This story gives me hope. Thank you for reminding me what healing looks like." And you know what? It wasn't fame or money that made me feel powerful. It was knowing that my pain had a purpose, that someone out there, sitting in the dark like I once was, could find light through my words. Years later, when I stood on another big stage, this time hosting my own Women's Empowerment Summit, I looked out at the thousands of faces in the crowd and thought about that first night when everything fell apart. About the ring I'd returned, the tears I'd cried, the motel ceiling I'd stared at for hours. If only that girl could see me now. As the lights dimmed and the spotlight hit, I smiled. The same way I did that night at TEDx. Only this time, the crowd wasn't just listening. They were believing. I started my speech the same way I started my story years ago. "My name is Ava, and once upon a time, I was broken. But now, I build." And as the applause filled the room, louder than ever, I knew I didn't just steal the spotlight. I became it.